Good morning, Internet people. This is Jason Wydrow, your host of OnlineStrategyPodcast.com. So, I have a topic today from some research that I did back in 2003. I interviewed about 60 people, and really what it was a survey. And I interviewed about 60 people, and I basically just asked them what it was that inclined them or caused them to purchase online. And we sit here and we say, this stuff is pretty obvious. We know why we buy things online. The convenience factor, the simplicity, this and that. But I was really specifically trying to find out, for example, I just wanted the outside perspective, not from my view as a developer and an online user, but I wanted the outside perspective, and what I had gotten didn't really surprise me, but it was just valuable information. So I'm going to share with you basically what I learned. And the general questions that I had about 5 questions, and each topic was associated with, under what circumstance would you buy a product online? What credibility should the website have? Is there any specific thing you're looking for when you're buying online? And I was really referring to products that were existing products, like stock shelf products. For example, like a Coleman tent, something that you would buy for camping that you could buy at Walmart, or you could buy online, or you could buy at a sports store. These were products that you could really buy, in multiple locations, and, bigger industry products. So the main question was, those were some of the main questions. And what I found out was really interesting. Basically, the higher percentage, more than 50% of all the people that I spoke with were very adamantly certain that they would not buy from a website that seemed questionable. If there was something about it that seemed questionable or they were uncertain about, they would not buy from that website. They would go elsewhere. And I also found out that the pricing points were, this is kind of common knowledge today, and it's nothing really surprising, but basically, the general user would shop around, 5, 6, 7, 8 different websites, if there were that many available with this product, whether it be eBay, whether it be, Amazon or another shopping cart area, another shopping cart site. And so I found the user would shop around and look for the best price for the product. But then the next weighing factor was the credibility factor. So it was almost equivalent, because some specific feedback that I got from a couple individuals was that if they went to a site that didn't seem credible and the price was good, obviously they weren't going to buy it, but they may have pursued that site even further by contacting the company or calling or verifying that it's a real, legitimate company. So, interesting points though. Anyway, but I found that as a user myself, I was answering pretty much the same way to these questions. Like, I'm shopping for the best price. I want to get the best price, but at the same time, I also want to have that support sometimes, I might want to be able to return it. What if something's wrong with the product? There's all these little factors that we take into account. Now, this is back in 2003. Things have changed quite a bit over the years, not with all companies, but, a lot of companies' return policies and things, and the way we deal with things generally, I would say things become quite a bit more forgiving. So there isn't as much, it's kind of almost expected today that, you buy something online, you're not happy with it, you've got 30 days to return it. That's almost like pretty common these days, like very, very common. So times have changed, and some of the user policies and expectations have changed on things, but the general buyer perspective is, and what you can gain out of this as a website owner is, if you're selling a product or service online, credibility is a top factor. That is one of the high factors that I concluded in this survey. So, and that means, you've got to consider your design, your presentation, the cleanliness of your site. Almost think of it too, you can look at it the same way as a storefront. And, a storefront, in other words, like a building that someone would walk into. You have, it's clean. It's a nice, you open the door and it's welcoming. It's refreshing a little bit. It's got things, obviously, that you're looking for. They're organized properly, as you would expect. All these very basic things. But the point is having, a good representation of your online presence and, displaying your content and information likewise. And you're likely to generate more business doing so. And back to the shopping cart example, some of the very basic things that people look for, they want to make sure that your website has a secure socket connection. Basically it's like what you refer to as an SSL. And normally, the companies that provide those will give you a logo you can place on your website somewhere during your checkout process or at the footer of your website, just letting people know that, yes, you did take some security measures, you were verified to a certain degree, you are a legitimate business, to this specific level of security, whichever level you have decided to take it to. So there are different levels and measures that can be taken on that. But the point is just, keep credible. Display your website as you would want to show your storefront, as if someone was coming into your store, and how you would want to present the organization of your services and products, and the organization and cleanliness and information of your stuff, and that will assist your online presence. Thanks for listening, and you were with me on drive time today, so you may have heard a little bit of noise in the background, and that is the sound of the car. Luckily, I have hands-free automated recording equipment, so I don't have to worry about being distracted while I'm driving. So, again, thank you very much for listening in, and let's all have a wonderful day.